Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you everything that I crocheted in the month of July. So I actually got quite a few items made in July. I had quite a few things going on in July, but I still got quite a few things made. So I was kind of surprised with how much I made. But I'll go ahead and get into what I made, and I'm going to put a picture up of everything that I made. So the first two things that I made in July were axolotls. So the first one is a pink and purple variegated yarn, and then the second one is a green one, and I embroidered the eyes on both of them. The third thing that I made was a popping mushroom, and this one is like a blue speckled yarn. And then I made a pickle, and this one I use Sweet Snuggles. I don't use it very much, but I do like to use it for some of my pickles. And then I made some flowers with my posh yarn. I thought that I only had like 2 colors of posh yarn, and then when I was going through my yarn I realized I had a lot more than I thought I did. So I decided to make some little flower keychains with them, and this was a free pattern. It is on TikTok and Instagram. I actually saw it first on TikTok, and then a while later I saw that it was on Instagram as well. So the next 5 things that I made were these flowers. The first one is purple with a white center, and then the second one is white with a teal center, and then the third one is white with a purple center. The fourth one is a neon pink with a white center. As usual, this color never shows up on camera as bright as it is in person, but it's really bright and pretty in person. And then I made a teal one with a white center, and this one, instead of doing the keychain, I decided to make it a car charm so you can like hang it from your rear view mirror. And so I pretty much just like chained up however long I wanted it and then slip stitched back into it. So that one's a car charm. That's the only car charm I've made, which I'm not sure how well it's going to sell since I don't have a bunch of them or have like an example to show how it hangs on the car mirror. But even if it doesn't sell, I will probably put it in the car because I think it's super cute. And then I made a Leggy Chicky, and this is the classic yellow with the orange legs and beak. And then I made 4 popping mushrooms. So 2 of them are the light rainbow variegated yarn, and it's from Joann's. It's the Big Twist plush yarn. And then I made a classic red popping mushroom, and then the 4th one is a speckled green, which I kind of forgot about this color. I found a little ball of it from something left over from something else and decided to make a mushroom out of it. And then I made another flower keychain. This one is blue with a white center. And then I made a mini Octo keychain. So I don't make a ton of them as keychains. I make a lot of mini Octos, but I don't always make them as keychains. But with the posh yarn, it makes them super small, and it's like the perfect size for a keychain. So that is with that same pink posh yarn. And then I made a corn, and this is my pattern, and this is the first time that I have embroidered the eyes on it. I usually just use 12mm safety eyes, but I decided to try embroidering the eyes, and I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think it's pretty cute. Next, I made another pickle. And then the next thing that I made is not crochet, but it is still something that I did this month, so I decided to add it. So I recently got into coloring books, so I started coloring some. And then when I saw another crocheter posting that they were having a coloring page contest, I was like, I've got to do that. And so they worked with an artist to design a coloring page based on one of their crochet patterns. So it's a little mouse, and it's super cute. So I colored this, and I took a picture and I sent it in, and I actually won a pattern from them for free since I did the contest. So that was super cool. And then the next thing that I made was a pattern test that I did on Ribblr, and I can't remember off the top of my head who it was for, but I'll have it linked in the description, as well as all the patterns that I used. But this was a pattern test, and it's supposed to be a little mouse cat toy, and it's supposed to be pretty small. They used like acrylic yarn, but I wanted to make it with the plush yarn, and it turned out pretty big, but it's really cute. So I used like a gray ombre yarn, and pretty much the whole body's one color, and then the tail kind of got the darker ombre color. But I went ahead and embroidered the eyes on this one just in case, if it is going to be a cat toy, there's no chance that the cat is going to like pull the eyes out or anything. The next thing I technically finished this month, but it was something that I had started a while back, and I have a bad habit of starting a lot of projects and not finishing them because I don't enjoy sewing. So if it has a lot of sewing, then I tend to just like put it in my pile of projects and start something new. So I was trying to go through those projects and finish a lot of them. So this is one that I technically crocheted a while ago, but I did finish it this month. So I always put what I complete in each month because it would be more confusing to put like I started this project but I didn't finish it. It would be a lot. So anyways, whatever I fully complete, once it's completed in that month, then it's in that video. So anyways, this one is a snail, and this pattern is from Crochet Grove, and it's a free pattern, and I had made it once before and I put off sewing it for so long, and then once I actually did it, I was like, oh, that was like so quick. It didn't take hardly any time, so I don't know why I put it off so long. And then the next thing that I made was a little alpaca or llama, and these are super cute. This was another one that was in my pile of projects that I crocheted most of it a while ago, and I was like to the head, and then I didn't finish it. So I finished crocheting the head, stuffed it, and I really like this pattern. It's super cute. The next things that I made were 2 carrots. So one of them is a small carrot, and then one is a little bit bigger. I actually didn't remember what pattern I was using for some of them, so I just freehanded the leaves on the top. So I kind of just remembered how to do the leaves from my favorite carrot pattern and just did something similar to that on these because I didn't want to go searching to try to figure out what pattern I was using. And then the next thing was a stingray. This was also a project that I was just finishing, and I actually thought I had finished this like a year ago, and I kept wondering what happened to it, and I was like, where did that go? I thought like I could not figure out where it went, and I thought maybe I sold it and I forgot, but no, it was just in the pile of things that needed to be finished, and I didn't look at it forever, so I'm glad that I found it. I did use some unique eyes for that. I actually have them out right here. They're actually like clear. They're like kind of clear and see-through, but I have them in a couple colors, but I used the blue ones for them, and so it has some unique eyes in it. And then the next 2 things that I made were a pattern test that I did on Ribblr, and they are super cute. It's these little chicks, and I believe this one was made this pattern was made for acrylic yarn as well, but I wanted to test it in the blanket yarn to see how it turned out. So they actually turn out really cute when they have the shell on them, but whenever you take the shell off, they look kind of funny. So I'll put a picture, especially the orange one looks really funny without the shell on. But I think they're super cute, and it can kind of be like a fidget toy if you want to like take it out and put it back into the shell. And then the next thing I did was another pattern test, and this one is for a cup cozy or koozie, and I actually ended up making a few of them, but I made the first one in gray because this designer wanted us to use the specific yarn that she designed it for. So I got that brand that she wanted and I did the first one in that gray color. The next thing that I made was a little frog, and it looks kind of silly because when I was making it, I forgot 2 rounds on the stomach. So it said like for the next 3 rounds, just single crochet a round, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was just 1 round. So it's supposed to be a little taller than it ended up, and it's not my favorite, but it's okay. And I also embroidered the eyes on it, and I don't love how they came out. And then the next 3 things that I made were the pattern test of the cup cozy again. So I made it in gray yarn, and that one is the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. And then the next one is like a white with pink speckles. That's also from Hobby Lobby. And then I believe the 4th one is the same yarn that I used for the first one. And then the next thing that I made was a scarf, and it's kind of a different shape of a scarf, so it doesn't look, it's not the classic shape of a scarf, so you might not recognize it immediately, but once you put it on, then you kind of see how it is. So it's pretty much a bunch of granny squares, and then those are sewn into a square, and then you just single crochet around the outside a couple times, and then you fold it in half and you have the button, and it just goes around your neck. So I'll put some pictures of me wearing it as well in there. But this was a super fuzzy yarn, and I actually really liked working with this yarn. I liked it more than I expected to. Granny squares are something that I enjoy making, the granny square, but I do not enjoy sewing them together. So for this one, I slip stitched them together. It's kind of a weird stitch where you like lay them beside each other, and you get like the front loop only from this side and the front loop only from that side, and slip stitch it together. So it took a while, but I finished it. So that one was actually for a challenge on Ribblr, the Riblympics challenge, which I didn't win, but I'm so glad that I made it. It was fun. The next thing that I made was another pattern test, which I guess I didn't realize how many pattern tests that I did this month, but I did quite a few. So this one is for Crochet by Chelsea, and this one is super cool. It is a UFO and alien, and the alien fits inside the UFO, so it's just super cool. I love the idea, and it's so cool. And it's like mostly no sew. There's like, I think there's like only one part where you actually have to sew, which is super awesome. So I really like that one, and I will probably make some more in the future. I'll actually probably make some of the aliens just like as a keychain or something, because I think that that would be super cute. And then I have a few more items that I was trying to finish up projects. So I have a bag that I made, and this one I used the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I pretty much just took 2 strings of yarn, one red and one black, and I used a bigger hook and crocheted with those together. So it came up quicker than just using one string of yarn. And I don't make bags very often, but I do like this one. I think it's pretty cute. I don't think it's really worth it for me to make them to sell at markets, because I believe it took me like 5 hours or so to make it. So nobody's probably going to want to spend like $60 for a bag. I mean, maybe they would, but it's not necessarily what I usually make anyways. So this one I might just keep for myself or give it to someone. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to sell it. And then I finished up another project that I had started a while ago, and it is this bunny ear beanie, and it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. When I sewed the ears on, I wanted the split of the beanie to be like straight down the middle and the ears like equally on the side, and I didn't sew it on perfectly, so it's like the ears are a little offset from that color changing line. And then whenever I try to take pictures, it like just would not hang right for the picture, so you can't really even tell that they're bunny ears. But I really need to get a picture of it on somebody where it actually looks good to actually show what it looks like, because it looks kind of weird in the pictures that I have right now. But anyways, and then the next thing that I made was another hat, and this one is a granny stitch hat. So it's like the granny square stitch, except you're not going in a square, you're just going in a circle. And I think this one was a YouTube video that I watched for this one, and I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's okay. Same thing with this one. I don't know if I'm gonna sell it or not. I might try to sell this one. It didn't take as long as some of the other ones did. And then the next thing that I made is super cool. I really love this one. This is a poison apple, and I really love it. This one turned out super cool. I decided to do white for the part that's dripping down, the skull part, because I thought that would look kind of more like a skull to have it white, and then have the red apple. And then I didn't have brown for the stem, so I just did the stem and the leaf in green. And I think this is super cute. It did take longer than I expected to make it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make multiple of them. But I am definitely going to have that one at my fall markets. And then I made another one of the flower keychains. This is another purple one with the white center. And next I made a jack-o'-lantern, and I really love this. So I found this pattern, I think last year on Ribblr, and I favorited it, but I kind of forgot about it last year. And so I started getting into the spooky season, although it's like still summer. I don't know why, I just started feeling it. So I started looking back at my favorited items, and I found that, and I was like, I've got to make this. So I made this first one, and it called for like brown for the stem, but I don't have much brown, so I used green. And I wasn't sure if I like the green that much, but I think with the green, it kind of reminds me of those, the little candy corn pumpkins. I think they have the green stem, but just the shape of it kind of reminds me of that. But the pattern is super cool because you just do the color changes. You don't have to embroider the face on there. It's just color changes within the pattern. And I thought it was going to take a while to work up, but it actually worked up really quickly. The next two things that I made were more projects that I was finishing up, and they are fingerless gloves. So the first set of fingerless gloves is just like a classic half double crochet ones, and this one was a pattern test that I did like a long time ago, like a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago on Ribblr. And I like made some in purple, I think, for the pattern test, and then I liked it, so I made these, but I just didn't finish these ones until now. So I pretty much just had to like connect the edges together, and that was it. So I have those, and then the next ones I made are using the same color, but it's a different pattern. So these ones are also fingerless gloves, and they're about the same length as the other ones. But this one I used a YouTube tutorial from Hey Crochet, and I really like these ones because the texture on it is super cool. They're definitely my favorite, and I might make some more for the winter time. I'm not sure because I don't really remember how long it took me to make them. I didn't time it, so I'm not sure how much I would need to charge for them. And then the next thing I made was a mini Octo, and this is like a really light pink one. And then the next two things that I made were mini ghosts, and it is my pattern if you haven't seen them before. This is the mini ghost. Actually, I have two of them right here. So here they are, which these are not the ones that I just made. These I made last year, but the ones that I just made, I actually just made they look pretty similar because I used one of them, just the black eyes, and the other one has those red eyes in it. And then I made an Octo, and this is a pink one. And then I made another mini Octo, and it's another pink one. And then I made another one of the jack-o'-lanterns. Like I said, I really love that pattern, and I was surprised how quickly it worked up. So I went ahead and made another one. And with this one, I did use some of the brown yarn, although I only have a little bit. I decided to use it for it to see how I like that. And I can't really decide if I like the brown or green better. I kind of like them both. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the brown stem or the green stem looks better on the pumpkin? Because I really can't decide. And I used a ombre yarn for the pumpkin. So it's actually the same yarn that I used for the last pumpkin, although it looks different. It's just because it's an ombre yarn that had lots of different orange colors in it, which I bought last year to make pumpkins, and then I didn't. So I saved it for this fall to do that. And then the next thing that I made, I really love this one. This is a squid. This is a super cute squid, and this one did take a few hours to make. I think, I can't remember, like 3 or 4 hours maybe to make. Maybe it wasn't that long, I'm not really sure, but it is a bigger plushie and it is super cute. I used an ombre yarn for this one, and I was hoping that the like head would all be one color and then the tentacles would be another color, but it didn't work out quite that way, but I still think it's pretty cute. And then I made another one of my mini ghosts, and this one is just with the black eyes. And then I made a little frog. This is the pocket frog or the round frog. And then I made another pickle because I had a pickle event coming up. So anyways, it was pretty much pickle party, and so I was getting ready for that. So I only had like 3 pickles in my inventory, so I decided to make a few more. So I did that one in that darker green. And then the next thing that I made was another little pocket frog, and this one I used a yarn that I haven't used before, and I actually got it on Black Friday last year and I hadn't tried it yet, but it's from Premier Yarn, and it is not the regular like parfait that people use. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll look at it and I'll have the name linked in the description. But it's definitely more like a blanket yarn texture than a chenille texture. So it's like a blanket yarn, and I kind of liked it. I liked working with it a lot, and I feel like it's really strong, like burnout blanket. But for some reason, like the texture like almost felt velvety or like something weird that I didn't love. But it was like while I was crocheting with it, it was fine. But when I was just touching the plushie or the yarn, it felt kind of weird. But I asked some of my friends and they were like, I don't know what you're talking about, it feels fine. So I don't know, I guess it's just me. And then I made another one of the jack-o'-lanterns, and same thing with this one. I used that same yarn that just changed colors, and I really like how it turned out. I kind of got obsessed with them, and I kind of want to make more because I think they are super cute. Next, I made 2 more pickles. So I made one in that new yarn that I was talking about from Premier Yarn, and then I made another one in the dark green, and then I made 3 more mini ghosts. So I did one that's a super light pink. It's like a really pastel pink. It almost looks white, but it's pink. And then I did a white one with the red eyes, and then I did a light blue one. In the past few years, I have only done white ghosts, but I thought it would be cute to have like the pastel pink and blue ones to have, like if somebody wants a boy ghost or a girl ghost, and they could have that. I thought that would be cute. But I'm gonna have like mostly white ones and then just a few of blue and pink. But I have some yarn where I get like the ombre yarn, like kind of like this one you can see behind me, where it has like the dark color in the middle, but around the outside it gets super light to where it's like almost white. And so sometimes if I just have that like almost white left over, I'm not really sure what to use it for, because who wants like a almost white, slightly blue, you know, whatever animal, I don't know. So anyways, I had trouble trying to figure out what to use that for, so I figured it would be good to do some ghosts out of. And then the last thing that I made in July was their mini Octo, but this one I used the fluffy yarn that I had used for that scarf that I made. I wanted to see how it would turn out if I made it into a plushie, because I really liked crocheting with that yarn. And I don't love it as a plushie, it's okay, but you couldn't really like, and I feel like an octopus was probably like the wrong animal for me to make, because octopus aren't really fluffy. I also started making a little bear out of it, but I haven't finished that one yet. So I don't know, I think I like it better just for like crocheting like clothing or something, and not for plushies. But I don't know. And also, like, whenever I was crocheting it, it was weird, like almost all of like the furry parts of it ended up on the inside of the plushie, and I took a picture of it. It like looked kind of creepy, I don't know why, but it looked so weird with all the fuzzy parts on the inside of the plushie, and I almost thought like, should I turn it inside out? But I wasn't sure. But I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna use that yarn for plushies. I'm just gonna use it for like a scarf or something else, maybe a bandana, I don't know. So that is everything that I made in July. So that is actually 61 items that I made. So I am excited about that. I wasn't expecting to make that many. My goal for the month was 50, so I did do more than my goal. And I thought that that goal was kind of high, but I did it. So that's pretty cool. For August, I don't have a ton of plans. I've decided I'm not going to do any more markets right now because it is too hot. Maybe if there's some indoor markets, maybe, but most of the markets that I know of are outdoors, and it is too hot for me. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from markets, but I'm also working on some stuff to enter in the fair. So every year I enter some of my items in the state fair. And then just the past few years, I found out about our county fair, so I do enter some items in those as well. And with how the dates line up, I can't enter the same item in both. Like, I have to drop off the ones at this one and then drop off the ones at the next fair before I get the ones back from the first one. So if I'm wanting to enter everything in every category, then I have to make like double the items. So for August, I am focusing on making items for the fair, which quite a few of them will be crochet items, some of them will not be. So if you want to see that video for next month of everything that I make, there's going to be quite a few items that are different from crochet. So some paintings and some different fiber arts and just some different stuff that I haven't shown you guys before. So if you want to see that, then make sure you're subscribed. And I'm also going to be having some tutorials for my fruit patterns coming out soon as well. If they are already out by the time I post this video, then I will have it linked in the description. But I'm going to have a tutorial for how to crochet my mini ghosts, and I'm also making a tutorial for how to crochet my little mini candy corn, and these ones are perfect for a keychain. So if you want to see those, make sure you're subscribed, and let me know in the comments which item I made this month was your favorite. I always like hearing which one you guys like the most, and let me know if you want to try out any of these patterns that I used. I would definitely recommend the alien pattern, the UFO, and the jack-o'-lantern pattern. I think those are my favorite things from this month. I really like the jack-o'-lantern, and I'm probably going to make some more of those. Thanks for watching.